All right. My name is James Shepard, and I'd like to thank you for taking time to join me on tonight's special live event. As many of you can tell, I am on a mission in 2016 to show salespeople how to generate leads effectively, okay? How to generate leads effectively. So just in the last couple of months, I have shown you how to hire a telemarketer through Upwork. And if you didn't watch that video yet, you really need to watch that video. You can go to YouTube and search for how to hire a telemarketer, CC Sales Pro, and it'll pop right up there. And so that was an interesting resource that I made available for free to you because I just love providing value and I hope that you enjoy it. Then we talked a couple weeks ago about Twitter and how to generate leads from Twitter, and had an entire workshop about that one. And now today we're going to be talking about YouTube and also a little bit about LinkedIn, but primarily what I want to talk to you about today is how to create legitimate results and money from your online presence. And as a sales rep, I think that it's so frustrating to me because it's funny, I posted this on Facebook Live a few minutes ago. I'm in this really weird mood today, so this could be a really great event or it could maybe drive all of you crazy. I'm not sure, but I'm in this really intense mood today. I'm on what I call a reverse vacation. Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but a reverse vacation means that I work from 6 a.m. to midnight for a certain period of time. This time it's 3 days. It's today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And so it's like I'm on a vacation, but I'm actually not. In other words, I'm like only at home to sleep. And so this is something my wife and I plan out, and I do these reverse vacations. So I'm always in a very intense business mood because I want to get a lot accomplished in these days where I'm spending all of my time here at the office. And so I really want to get a lot accomplished. I'm in this weird kind of intense mood of wanting to show you how to actually make money. And today I had about, 25, 30 phone calls already, back to back all day. Anyway, I think a couple of things that are really missing is that when it comes to social media, I think salespeople feel like, especially salespeople, small offices, even small business owners, they feel like, wow, social media is really interesting and social media is cool. And, if I really want to waste some time, I'm going to jump on social media. But I think there's a disconnect to where salespeople and business owners alike feel like social media is not where I go if I want to make money. In other words, you right now, if I said close down everything on here and you can't pick up the phone and you can't go out in the field, all you can use is social media, go make some money. I think most of you on this webinar, seriously, I think most of you on this webinar would have absolutely no idea what to do. Really, I honestly believe that. And the crazy thing is, well, I tell you what, again, I'm in a weird mood today. I'm kind of in this very intense business mood, so just bear with me. Let's do a poll. Are you ready? On this webinar right now, over to the right, I want you to raise your hand if you strongly agree with this statement, okay? If you strongly agree with this statement. The future of independent sales is going to be heavily dependent on social media. Raise your hand over to the right if you strongly agree with that statement. The future of independent sales is going to be heavily dependent on social media. Raise your hand over to the right if you agree with that statement. Okay. Everybody. Okay, a few people haven't. All right, let's do it the other way. So now, hold on. Now put the hands down. Okay. Okay. Now, I got all the hands down. Raise your hand if you strongly disagree. You don't think that social media is going to have a major impact on independent sales over the next 3 years. Raise your hand over to the right if you disagree with that. Okay? Okay, and I can respect that. 2 of you disagree, and everybody else agrees. Now, okay, I can respect that. Good. Now, for those of you that agree and you're like, yeah, social media is going to have a huge impact on independent sales, and my success and career moving forward is going to be heavily dependent on that. Let me ask you another question. Raise your hand if you made a sale in the last 30 days entirely as a result of your social media presence. In other words, not you engage with them. I'm talking about you found somebody or they found you on social media, which generated a lead for you, and then you went and made a sale in the last 30 days. Raise your hand over to the right if that fits you. And be honest, okay? Be honest. You made a sale in the last 30 days because of your social media presence entirely. Raise your hand over to the right if that's you. Okay? 2 people. Okay? So isn't it ironic? The same number that believes that social media will not impact the future, which I disagree with you respectfully, okay? I think social media is going to have a huge impact moving forward, but I can respect if you say, I don't think it's going to have an impact, so I don't care about it. I get that. But the rest of you that say, James, social media is going to be huge. It's going to have a huge impact on independent sales. Did you do anything with it in the last 30 days that made you money? No. That I have a problem with. Okay? Because you believe that social media is going to be huge, but so far you're not doing anything about it. Okay? So, let's move on and let's talk about what I've done with social media. And I'm not sharing these numbers to be in any way braggadocious or anything like that. I'm just sharing these numbers because I want you to see that social media can actually result in real numbers. And I want you to see what these numbers actually look like so that I can kind of continue on and talk more about some more advanced strategies and kind of programs and things like that. Okay? All right. And by the way, I get it. Everybody's putting in the comment, like, I don't know how to use it yet. I don't know how to leverage it. And again, that's why I'm doing the webinar, so I get it. But I'm just saying, hopefully all of you on here that raised your hand that said my success over the next 24 months is going to be drastically determined by how I use social media. Hopefully all of you are going to take it very seriously and are going to do some of the things I'm recommending that you do. So let's go ahead and move forward with this quickly here. So here is my YouTube views. So back in 2010, I don't know, some of you might not even be able to see that. You got to look over to the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And you see the little line above 2010 that says 46? That's how many views I had on my YouTube channel in 2010. 46. Now, the reason I left this number on here, I could have started with 2011, but I did 2010 because I want to point out something about YouTube that I'm going to talk more about a little bit later. And what I wanted to point out was that on YouTube, you're playing a bit of a longer game. You're playing a little bit of a longer game. In other words, on YouTube, it's not about you're going to post a video today and tomorrow you're going to get a lead. YouTube is a longer game. I'll talk to you about some quicker stuff with LinkedIn in a little bit. But in 2010, I started doing my YouTube channel in November of 2010. And I got 46 views. That's it. 46 views. Okay? And I spent a ton of time on it. Okay? Let's see what happened in 2011. 2011, I got 30,200 views in 2011. Again, keep in mind, at this point, actually at all of these points, I spent $0 on advertising. I spent $0 on marketing. All this was just my time investment in YouTube. I had 30,200 views. Now, again, I'm going to show you, because I know some of you are like, oh, who cares, James? I know people that have 1 million views on YouTube. Yeah, but a lot of them don't make any money. I've actually made a ton of money from this, and that's what I'm going to explain in a minute, and how you can leverage it in kind of the same way for your local market, okay? So my YouTube channel, 30,200 views, 2011. 2012, 72,200 views. 2013, 112,700 views. 2014, 135,800 views. And 2015, 184,200 views. That is how many times someone watched one of my YouTube videos in 2015, 184,000 times. Now, keep in mind that this is a niche thing. This is for people who sell credit card processing. That's it. And from that group, I got 184,200 views on YouTube. Okay? Now, let me minimize this here. Okay? So, in 2015, this is kind of the $1 million question, literally, which is, what did that actually get me? You know, like, Okay, cool, James. You got 184,000 views. Who cares? What actually happened with that? So this is in the first, about the first half of the year. This was up through like July. I did these numbers. So this is like the first half of 2015. And I actually made this PowerPoint for some investors and business partners. But I had 100,000 views almost exactly at the point when I stopped and made this. So this is for half of the year. Those 100,000 views on YouTube resulted in 11,000 visits to my website. 11,000 visits to my website directly from YouTube. The first thing I want to point out is YouTube is something that creates real leads that you can do something with. Okay? Let's talk about Google search. Now you say, James, why are you talking about Google search? Because this is like the little secret about YouTube that nobody seems to understand. And what it is that people don't seem to understand is that Google owns YouTube, okay? What that means is it means that Google is going to display YouTube videos prominently in search, okay? In fact, I'm going to pause right here to show you what I mean by this. Hold on one second. I'm going to pull up something for you here. I want you to see something. I have not tested this at all, so I hope that it works out. Here we are on Google. Let's search for how to sell credit card processing. Okay? On this first page, you will see right down here my video, The Secret to Selling Merchant Services, right there. Okay? So I make it onto the home page of Google. Let's try how to sell merchant services. Okay? And right here, I also have it right up here, this video. Okay? Here's my website, my homepage right here. Here's another blog article that I did that's on the homepage. Here is another one and another one. So I've got a pretty good presence here on the homepage, right below the green sheet, which has been around for, I don't know, like 50 years or something. No, I'm just kidding. Probably a long time. So I'm right here on the homepage. Okay? Why is that video on the homepage? Because it's a relevant search and Google owns YouTube. And so Google looks at YouTube to find relevant search topics and puts it up there. And so other than the advertisements that are up here at the top, I have the second spot here. And actually this is pretty cool. I used to be ranked below this WikiHow, how to sell credit card processing, which is totally pointless. But anyway, now it's up above there. So that's cool. All right. So let me go back here to my PowerPoint. Hold on here. So let me talk to you about search. So as a result of YouTube and of course also my website, okay, here's what I was able to do with search for the first half of 2015. We got 14,000 visits to our website from Google search and Yahoo search and Bing. That resulted in 530 contacts. So I want you to notice two things about this, right? Number one, that's a lot of new people. That's a lot of leads, okay? Secondly, notice that the percentage is not as good. The traffic, the YouTube views are much more likely to convert into traffic than a Google search. You know why? Because when somebody watches my YouTube video, they're connecting with me. Many of you are on here right now on this event, and you would not be on here if it was not for my YouTube channel because you watched my videos, you connected with me, and you're like, wow, I really like this guy. Okay? Imagine if you were that person in your local market. Imagine if business owners went online to search for things locally, credit card processing, payroll processing, insurance, whatever you sell, and what if they found your videos? And think about, go back in your mind, some of you, let me ask you a question. Again, I'm in kind of this crazy mood today. Let's just do some more polls. How many of you, by a raise of hands, you found me because of my YouTube videos, and that's how you initially connected with me was my YouTube videos? Raise your hand over to the right if you're basically on this right now because of my YouTube videos. Like that's why you're on this live event. Okay. Literally 75% of you are on here because of my videos. Okay? So I want you to do something right now that's an interesting kind of mental exercise here. I want you to go back in your mind to when you first found me on YouTube. And I don't know what you thought about me. You're like, who is this kid? Depending on how long ago you started watching me, right? Who is this crazy guy? Like, what is he talking about? And then you're like, wow, this guy seems kind of genuine and sincere. I don't know what it was that like hooked you in to want to see what was going on with me. Thank you, because it's made me a ton of money that you all like my YouTube channel. All right. Now I want to give back and I want to make you a ton of money from your YouTube channel. Imagine if business owners were having that same experience with you. I mean, right now at this very moment, there are 2 or 3 people that are on YouTube right now who are not on this live event because they've never been to my website. They don't know who I am. And right now, they're watching some of my videos. Now, imagine if you had that same experience happening on a daily basis with business owners in your target market. And they were finding you on YouTube and they were watching you and they're going, oh, I like this guy. This guy's interesting. And you're generating contacts from that. Okay? So, here we go. Let's move on here. See if I have any others. Okay. So, what did all this create in terms of ccsalespro.com? So, 2011, we made ccsalespro.com. Notice here, very important, notice I got my social media stuff going first. Before, I already had 60,000 Twitter followers probably at this point, and I already had 2011, I think, 36,000 YouTube views in 2011. So I started CC Sales Pro about halfway through the year. So I was doing pure social media for 7 months before I created my website. Now, you don't have to do that. That's not necessarily the best way to do it. But some of you, it's the only expensive part is creating the website. All right, and I'm going to work on some programs to make that more affordable, but that's the only expensive part. But I made it in 2011. These are page views. So 22,400 in 2011, 82,000 in 2012. 2013, this is crazy. So this is something a lot of you probably don't know this about me, and this is kind of funny. So 2013, I was like, forget this. And what happened was, so with my local business, I was already doing all the social media stuff kind of before for my local business, which I'm going to talk to you more about in a minute. And it was starting to really take off. Well, I was already getting like all these referrals and I was making 20 sales a month, all of 2011, all of 2012, all of 2012. Got into 2013 and I'm like, forget this. This is ridiculous. I'm just going to go build my business again. So I decided to go back into the business, built up my portfolio, took care of my personal business, because in business, I think you got to make money. And I wasn't really making a ton of money off of this recruiting thing in 2012, mainly because most of the recruits I was getting then were people that were kind of like, I don't know, most of you that are on here that are really experienced, hopefully you have a little bit of a level of respect for what I've been able to accomplish in merchant services at this point, but you didn't in 2012. I was still kind of like this young guy that was on YouTube that never, like, who is this guy shooting videos on a webcam, So I was getting a lot of green agents then, which was taking all of my time and wasn't really paying off huge money, which to me, huge money is like $20,000 a month. Like, I want to make some serious money off of this thing. So anyway, 2013, I literally did hardly any new content. I think for the entire year, I posted like 3 blog articles. For the whole year, I don't think I did hardly any new YouTube videos. But what happened was, towards the end of 2013, I started to notice that the salespeople that were contacting me were more experienced, and I was starting to connect with the right demographic, and the people were already selling credit card processing, and they're like, James, we want to work with you. We want your training, your coaching. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So 2014, I started taking, about the second quarter of 2014, I started taking it very seriously again, posting consistently new videos, and we had 187,000 views at ccsalespro.com, and that was kind of the culmination of the search engine optimization catching up, as well as other things breaking my way, like the content I was creating and things like that. 2015, we ended up with 280,000 views on ccsalespro.com. So those are top line kind of numbers. What did that result in? In 2015, and these numbers are, to me, kind of staggering when you think about, do you realize that in the United States, there are roughly 50,000 people who sell credit card processing? 50,000 people total sell credit card processing in the United States of America. 23,400 of them were on my website in 2015. That's pretty wild. So that's what you call dominating a target market. And again, the reason I'm telling you this, some of you are like, okay, James, congratulations, like let's give you a hand. No, I'm showing you this because this is a niche thing that I did, and I'm telling you, this is exactly what you do in your local market because this is a niche. You're going to be like the only person online that sells whatever you sell, credit card processing, payroll processing, insurance, whatever you sell. You're going to be the only person selling that online in your local market. You can become the personality. I am Mr. Online how to sell merchant services guy. That's who I am. That's my personal brand. There are days that I wake up and hate that and think, man, if only these people knew that the thing I'm really good at is social media, marketing, building a business, making money, but that's okay. This is what works for me. This is my personal brand. This is who I am online. And I dominate that niche, and you can do exactly the same thing. You can become Mr. or Mrs. Local merchant services online personality. This can be you in your local market. I guarantee you this can be you in your local market. You say, James, I'm in Chicago, I'm in New York, I'm in LA, I'm in Dallas. Like that can't possibly be me. Yes, it absolutely can. There is no one online that is doing this. No one online. You have zero competition right now. I'm telling you, you have zero competition. It blows my mind that more people don't do this. It absolutely blows my mind. You have no competition. It is only you, all by yourself. You could dominate this niche if you wanted to. Okay. So 23,400 people visited my website 51,000 times, viewing a total of 140,000 pages. That's 5.1 pages per visit and 8 minutes per visit. That's how long they spent on my website. Now, that may not mean a lot to any of you, but those numbers are really good for your online presence. And again, I don't know what it is with me today. I'm just like so intense about business, and I'm so frustrated with people who say they want to be in business, right? They say they want to be independent. They say that they don't want to have a boss anymore. They want to be their own boss. And yet, they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to invest anything in their business. Do you realize I've had people come to me before and tell me I should sell what I do as a franchise and I should charge $20,000 franchise fees, fly out and help people build their local branch, and that's a totally legitimate business model for what I do. I talked to somebody today. No, I talked to two people today, companies today. They're going to pay me $200 an hour plus travel expenses to come out to their business and show them how to do what I'm about to show you in this program. And so, I want to see you be successful. The reason I started my YouTube channel in the first place is that I was so frustrated with the industry that I'm in and so frustrated with independent sales in general. And I wanted more than anything to help you and people just like you, salespeople like you. I wanted to help you unlock what the true potential is of independent sales. But I think where maybe along the way some things got like miscommunicated or lost maybe is people not realizing that this is a business. It's a business. You can hire people. I encourage it. Get an assistant. Get somebody to do your schedule for you. I told like 5 or 6 people today, you need an assistant. Pay somebody for 2 hours a day. Like, jump out and do something. This is a business. Do something with it. Invest in your business. Okay? Find a way to generate some cash to invest in your business. Okay? You're right now, you're probably on this call thinking about, I'm going to invest in a new house. I'm going to invest in a new car. I have been driving the same blue minivan. Many of you have seen it on Snapchat. I get more flack for that stupid minivan, going to business meetings in that thing. I've been driving that thing for a long time. And you know what? I'm going to take it to the junkyard when I want to buy a Porsche. And in the meantime, I'm going to drive that stupid minivan. You know why? Because I could care less what I'm driving. I want to provide success for my family, and I want to get money, and I'm putting every dollar I can back into my business. because I want to be very successful at my business and I want to establish something. Now, again, that's what success looks like for me. If your definition of success is different, that's totally fine and I accept that. But I could care less about that. Now, of course, I want to have my wife to have a decent vehicle. But, I don't care. I'll drive whatever around. That's funny I say that. I'm being hypocritical. My business partner, Ben, has forced me to I have to get a company lease because I'm going back out to do some stuff locally, which I'll talk about in a minute. And he told me I have to get a company lease because he's embarrassed in my blue minivan. Anyway, but I love it. The thing's comfortable. It drives fine. Anyway, I'm not going there. But before you invest in that next vehicle, before you invest in that upgraded house, before you invest in whatever toy or trinket or trip you're going to do, think about putting a little bit of money into your business. Not a lot, like a little bit. And put some extra time into it and make something happen with this, because this is a business that can make you tons and tons and tons of money for your family long term. It's amazing, but you got to put something into it if you want to get something out of it. You've got to commit to it. It's got to be a business. You've got to be willing to take some risks and make something happen. Okay? So, how to get free leads with YouTube. Here we go. The way to do it is, first of all, geographic keywords. Now, I'm going to try to explain a very complicated concept in like 2 minutes or 3 minutes here. Google has become incredibly smart. And Google has algorithms that when you search for something, it pulls things up. Okay? Let me demonstrate. We're back on Google. Okay. And I just searched for merchant services in Google. Now notice I didn't search for merchant services Altoona, Pennsylvania. I just searched for merchant services. But if you search for where am I, Google says, oh, you're in Altoona. Does everybody see that? Google knows right where you are, right? Well, in the last 30 days, 1.5 thousand people have seen that, and 20 of them went to my website. So that's pretty good. And I've done nothing with it. Absolutely nothing at all with that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute of what I'm doing next. So created some pretty interesting stuff there. Where did Google go? I lost it. Hold on. All right, let's go back to Google. Okay, so Google recognizes where you are locally. Now, here's the other cool thing. Google would always prefer to show a video if there's one that's relevant. So, in the same way that Google recognizes that my business listing is in Altoona, Google can also recognize that I have a video called Credit Card Processing Company, Altoona, Pennsylvania. It can recognize that that name means that that video is local, and so it can pop up a video result that is geographically keyworded. Okay? So, let me pause this and go back to my presentation. So, geographic keywords are, no pun intended, the key. So, if you can make a YouTube video that has all of the correct keywords in the title and the description that target you as local geographically, you come up in the search results. It's that simple. It's that simple. Google is going to do all the hard work for you. We're going to take one of those videos and make it your Google Maps listing. You can have a video on your Google Maps listing, and so we're going to do that for one of the videos, and we're going to edit that one for you so it looks really cool. But what I've created is, and some of you already got my workbook, which I sent out for free, but in addition to that, I have your first 20 videos that you're going to shoot. I have them outlined. I have the script for them to tell you this is exactly what you need to say, and this is exactly how long you need to say it for, and here's the sections of the videos so that we can help you partner together to make the 20 videos that are going to help you dominate your local market on YouTube because you've got the local SEO. Okay? That's YouTube. Okay? The other thing is, to dominate, you've got to have the right call to action. You've got to have the right call to action. Okay? What the call to action means is very simple. What would you like people to do as a result of watching your video? Normally, it's going to be something like, you can call me now at 800 blah, 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 right? So you're going to have your phone number in there in your video. You're going to have usually a link to a website or a landing page or something in the description of the video. Maybe it's your Facebook page, however you want to connect with people. You can have a link there that they can go and learn more about your business. Okay? So you've got to have a strong call to action. And that's it. You can read the workbook. I've got tons of additional details in there. But all you have to do to dominate YouTube is you need to make 20 videos that have the right title. They need to be somewhat professional in terms of the way you're coming across. You need to be natural and be somebody that people want to work with. And you need to have a good call to action that tells people what you want them to do. That's it. How do you do that? You say, some people are like, oh my goodness, YouTube, I've got to make these like super professional. Are you kidding me? Let me ask you a question. Here's another poll. How many of you saw one of the videos that I posted on YouTube using my webcam? And you know exactly what I'm talking about if you saw one of them. The audio was crackly. It was like blurry. You could barely, like, how many of you saw one of those videos? Let me see your hand over to the right. Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody who answered that, who raised your hand, I want you over in the chat box, just so that for the people who didn't see one of those old ones, in the chat box or in the question box over there, like you're answering a question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the audio and video quality on those videos? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like NBC's video, 1 being like the worst video you've ever seen in your life. 1 to 10, answer in the question box over to the right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what was the quality level of the first 100 videos that I put out on YouTube? Over to the right, answer that question. Okay, Eli says -6. 2, 5, 2.5. Some of you are just being so nice. 4.5, 6, no way. Or 5 on here, okay. Yeah, 1, thank you, Lynn. There we go. That's where it's at. Come on, really. You know it. It was a 1 or a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was horrible. In retrospect, I can hardly even listen and watch them. It's embarrassing. The quality was so bad. Very amateur. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? How many of you, I'm going to put the hands down. How many of those same people, got the hands all down here. How many of those same people, by raise of hands over to the right, how many of you are on this live event tonight because of those videos? Raise your hand over to the right. How many of you connected with me because of those videos? Raise your hand. Everybody. Okay? Do you understand that? Do you get that? Okay? You don't need any amazing setup to do this. You need to know what the videos are to shoot. You need to know the script to use. You need to know how to title them, the descriptions to use. You need to make sure they're edited so you can put them in somewhere. But YouTube has its own editor now. Like, it's not even that difficult at all. Okay? So, that's YouTube. And hopefully for many of you, I've just dispelled your biggest fear about YouTube, which is, oh, I could never make a YouTube video. I don't have a $7,000 camera. Well, neither did I. I had a $25 webcam, okay? Now I've got all this video equipment and stuff like that, and that's cool. I can do that. It's an advantage. Sure, I'll use the advantage. But you know why I do it? Because I've always been scared to death that my competitors were going to come along and make better videos than me and take my audience. They never did, but that's either way, I want to protect against that, so I wanted to increase my lead. And you can do the same thing, and I can walk you through that. But initially, you don't need to do that. It doesn't even matter. Let me show you LinkedIn here. Here I am in LinkedIn. Watch this. Advanced people search. Find. Let's see. Title owner. So somebody whose current title on LinkedIn is owner, who is located within 50 miles of me. And I also want to look for, right up here, let's look for first and second degree connections and search. Okay? That gave me 689 leads. 689 leads. There are 689 people who live within 50 miles of me, personally, who their current title is owner, and they are either directly connected with me on LinkedIn or they're connected with somebody who is connected with me on LinkedIn. I'll give you the numbers on that too, by the way. That's crazy. 5 on here are first degree connection. And again, a lot of people call themselves president or founder or whatever. But, you know, a lot of these are second degree connections that I would never even realize existed if I wasn't searching for them in this way. Let's add our second degrees back in. So, for instance, let's click on this one here. Here's Adam Conrad. That's a bad example. He's a real estate one. Hold on one second. Let us go back here. Right here. The owner of the Tropical Expressions Boutique and Spa in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Okay? I have 9 shared connections. Okay? 9 people that I know personally in Altoona are connected with this person right here. How easy do you think it's going to be for me to sell Carly Sullivan when I go and tell her that I know all of these people? Okay? So, creating leads on LinkedIn is very simple. It's setting up a series of these searches. And by the way, hold on one second here. You can go back. Right up here, you can click on Save Search. And I can save this as, oh, this is funny. I went down and did consulting for a company in Orlando. And I set up, and I mean like Orlando, Florida. I don't know anyone in Orlando, Florida other than my uncle and aunt live there. You know, I don't know anybody. And so I set this thing up to be like leads. And I get an email every week for it. And I got my first email, and it had 33 people that came up as leads in Orlando, Florida. And so I passed them on to the owner of this processing company I was consulting for and said, hey, I just got 33 leads for you. And she's like, oh my goodness, we didn't show our salespeople how to do this. You know, I'm like, yeah, show them how to do it. I got 33 leads. I don't even live in Orlando. Okay? LinkedIn is going to be the fastest way for you to get warm leads. Not hot leads, warm leads. Referrals, right? By doing the advanced search. YouTube is the way to get hot leads online. Okay? All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.